Hello. So I'm a bit perkier today. It's Monday, start of the week, but yesterday I felt quite down. I was in a bit of a dark place. I was editing my latest Reiki ASMR session for grief, and whilst that distracted me, I was still kind of going over things in my head, and I'm kind of at the slightly depressed phase of the grief cycle. I'm not saying I'm depressed, but it hits you again and you think, oh, we're back to square one, you know, the sadness and the emptiness. And I did sob a bit. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling very good yesterday, but today I've perked up. I seem to have more energy. I've just had a good sort out and a spring clean down in the kitchen, and thrown a load of old packaging and things away, and hoovered, and just had a good clean up with my antibacterial spray. It's a good flow of energy going on. I went outside in the garden and fed the birds, and I've been sent a gift, and I would like to share it with you because it's so beautiful. Let me move this because the light is not the best today and we've gone very wonky. Just 1 minute. That's better. So yeah, sorry, my ring light has stopped working. That's another thing that I have to deal with, but it's okay. It's okay, I'm strong. So yeah, these lovely gifts arrived in the post from a dear person over there in the States. I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her, Darian. And yeah, it safely arrived, Darian. And I had this beautiful, oh, I don't know if you can see that, it's not, let me take it out of its packaging. So she's bought me this beautiful moonstone necklace. It does not want to focus on that, but it's got some really pretty sort of iridescent colours in there, some blue as well. So yes, that looks like moonstone to me. I think Darian was worried that it wasn't true moonstone, but it is. And that's one of my favourite stones actually, Darian, so thank you so much. I can't wait to wear that. That's beautiful. And then the other one made me cry. Just open it. I have to be very careful because I've already, look at the paw prints on the side. But I had to unpackage it first because otherwise we would have been here for ages just watching me like fighting with the wrapping. Look at that. I'll meet you at the Rainbow Bridge. How cute. Right, let me show you inside. So this is an amazing idea for those that are going through pet loss, and it's really interesting because the other day I was thinking to myself, I'd really like to sit with Chubz somewhere quiet with a light, or you know, a picture of him or a candle, and just have that one-to-one private time with him and just talk to him as if he was, well, he is still here, but you know what I mean. So this is the base, and then you put a picture of your pet in there and it fits in there. And then you have the rainbow, which fits there. And it plugs in and the rainbow lights up and just creates this beautiful rainbow light in your room, just providing a bit of peace and comfort, I suppose. But I'll have a go at that later and I'll film it so we can see what it looks like. And I just want to show you the packaging it came in. Look at this rainbow bag, it's so cute. And the message is, Rachel, I'm a bit late, but I wanted to send you something to show I'm thinking of you and Chubz. I hope you're hanging in there and that this little gift helps, from Darian. So this came with the packaging, and listen to this poem on the back. It's called A Letter from Heaven. When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not there to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry, though I know your heart aches so. But remember, it was for the best. It was my time to go. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you. And each time you're thinking of me, I know you miss me too. When tomorrow starts without me, don't think we're far apart. For every time you think of me, I'm right there in your heart. Thank you so much, Darian. That is just so kind of you. I'm absolutely blown away by the kindness and the support and your friendship. Even though we've never met in person, that's one of the reasons why I set up my Lightworkers Way channel, to find my soul tribe, to find my community, and I wouldn't necessarily have been able to do that locally. So yeah, I'm feeling very blessed right now and very grateful. Thank you. Alright, so I've got Chubz's ashes here, and with the necklace came this little funnel, can't see it, and then this, which I assume is to kind of push the ashes down into the necklace, but nothing to spoon the ashes in with, so I've had to improvise, and I've used one of these from my nail kit. Because I never use it, so it's clean, and so I thought that's perfect on the end, just to spoon the ashes in bit by bit. Assume this goes in there like so, and then we're going to spoon it very carefully into the funnel. Okay, all done. I absolutely love it. Little Chubsy. Okay, we're all set up, and I'm going to give it a try. Ready? Okay, ready, and wow, how pretty is that? I haven't got a picture of Chubz in there yet, but that's so peaceful. Ooh. Look at the rainbow shining up the wall. I love it so much. Today is Thursday, March the 12th, and it's a terrible day outside. The wind and the rain is awful, lashing against the windows. There's not a lot to do, so I thought I would just talk about how the grief cycle has affected me. And I'll keep it brief because this is depressing stuff. And then how I'm dealing with it, because you never know in the future. you might be going through the same thing, and then you can come back to this video and just listen for some advice and comfort and tips. So here goes. My version of the grief cycle is slightly different to what you'll find on the internet, although there are different versions of it, but this is what I have come to understand about the grief cycle. There are 5 stages. The first one is sadness, feelings of loss, emptiness. You might be in denial. I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe they're not here. And you kind of look around for them. You're very tearful, very sad. That's number 1. Then it moves on to number 2, which is guilt. I should have done more. Why didn't I do more? Why didn't I see that there was something wrong? Did they have an underlying health issue that I didn't see in time? Whatever. But you find ways of almost punishing yourself because you're here and they're not. It's really strange, but yeah, your mind starts to play tricks on you and it builds up a case against you. So look out for the guilt. It's a very important time to be compassionate towards yourself and just try and do nice, gentle things for yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time just because you're feeling guilty right now. It's a perfectly normal stage of the grief cycle. 1 minute. Sorry about that, it was the Royal Mail. Number 3. So we've had loss, sadness, emptiness, denial, then we move on to guilt, then we move on to anger. So you feel very angry and frustrated about them leaving you or being taken away from you. You might be angry towards, I don't know, like the doctors or vets or nurses or police, whoever's involved. They should have done more. Why didn't they notice these things? Why didn't they notice signs of health deteriorating? Things like that. It's so easy to blame others or blame yourself, get angry at yourself. Some of you may be angry at God. Why did you take them away from me? I know at one point I felt that way. And, I was saying, why did you take my best friend away from me? And, he was my safe space and he gave me unconditional love. And so that's a big one. And luckily it doesn't last very long, but just be prepared that you're going to feel that way for a little bit. After the anger will come a period of depression, and this one is a bit of a trickster because it makes you feel like you've gone back to square one and you're like, oh no, we're going to be doing it all over again. It does feel like you've taken some steps back when you hit the depression stage. Now I'm coming out of that now. I thought I'd already hit the acceptance stage, but I was wrong. I woke up feeling physical pain. I researched it, and apparently it is a thing when you're going through grief or like anxiety and stress related to grief. You can have aches and pains in the body, joint pain, things like that. And I've had some back pain, bit of neck and shoulder pain, and then this morning I woke up with pain in my chest. Now I know it's not cardio. I'm not showing signs of, heart attack or cardio problems, so don't worry about that. It is more muscular. It's just around this area. A little bit painful, but quite normal. So I've taken ibuprofen. I don't normally like taking pharmaceutical drugs, but every so often for a bit of help. An anti-inflammatory or a painkiller like paracetamol is fine. So I'm just kind of waiting it out now. So yeah, you'll kind of feel like you've regressed and gone backwards to the sadness stage again, but this is the last but one step, so that's stage 4. Once you've made your way through and processed the depression, and this may include not really wanting to take part in activities, not really wanting to socialize or do anything. The thought of going to work or being around people is just horrible. You may overthink things, go over and over things in your head. It might affect your sleeping patterns. You might have insomnia, or, as I've mentioned, aches, physical pain. Yeah, it's not pleasant. But then this will slowly subside, and that moves on to our fifth and final stage of the grief cycle, which is acceptance. And I'm literally just stepping into that now. So I've got one foot in the depression and one foot in the acceptance. I'm feeling a little bit run down, and I've got the pain. I've got an ulcer in my mouth as well. But I'm still trying to be a little bit perky and have a sense of humour about things as well. It's a kind of really strange and confusing place to be. But I'm now moving into acceptance. It's happened, and now I'm ready to start rebuilding and getting my life back on track. It is a process, and there are going to be days where you don't feel so great, and there are going to be days where you feel much happier and perkier. I mean, I'm only on week 3 of losing Chubz, and it took me months when my mother went, so you've just got to give yourself some time. That's it. Also, before we start, do you like my bangs? I think they frame my face much better than when I just had nothing. I do have a couple of filming days coming up in April and May for a new series called Demon's Way, and I'm playing Lilith, the Demon Queen. So Stephen, the director, wants me to have quite sort of fiery red hair for that, which, I like it. I'm happy to oblige. But at some point then, maybe beginning of June, I'm flirting with the idea of maybe going a little bit strawberry blonde. I don't know what you think about that, but I'd quite like to go a little bit lighter, strawberry blonde, and have a few like golden or honey blonde highlights. Just something I'm thinking about doing. So let's take a look at the 10 ways that I have handled the grief cycle. So the very first one is to cry it out. So feel the pain and then purge it out. Don't leave it stagnant in the body. Just feel the feelings, let it pass through you. It's only temporary. That moves on to number 2. Make sure to eat nourishing foods. So for the first part of the grief cycle, you may lose your appetite because it tends to attack the solar plexus area. This is temporary, it will pass. So just try and eat little and often, and make sure that you're getting the nutrients that your body needs. Number 3, definitely do some yoga, walking, swimming, or some exercise that you enjoy to get the blood flowing and to shift any stagnant energy. Number 4, honour their memory. So create a space that's just for them. You can put their ashes there too, or a picture of them, just anything you like. This is a space to fill with their presence, so it doesn't feel so empty, and you can feel gratitude for having them in your life. Number 5 is to buy a few memorial gifts for yourself that keep their memory alive. So I've bought an urn necklace, as you've seen in this video, with his picture, and also I've bought a cushion with his image printed onto it, some pictures of him, and I've made a memory book so that I can look at it whenever I miss him. Number 6 is to honour their memory by continuing your life and plans as if they were still here. So for example, I was planning a 16th birthday party for Chubz, and also some adventures camping away in the van, so I'm still going to go ahead and do those things. Number 7 is to be very careful not to hold tension in your neck and shoulders. So when our nervous systems take a hit, we tense up, and if you start to ache, it's a good idea to go and see a physiotherapist, or do some gentle stretches. Maybe try and get a session in a sauna or a steam room, or take a hot bath with some sea salt or Epsom salts. Number 8, you will move through a grief cycle, okay? So your mind will sometimes play tricks on you, and this will make you doubt yourself. You'll worry that you didn't do enough, that you should have taken them out more, etc. So allow yourself to feel these with compassion, knowing that this is totally normal, and that grief is just running its course. Okay, so show yourself some compassion and just know that that feeling is temporary. Number 9 is to talk to family or friends or a trusted therapist, grief counsellor. Just talk about who you're grieving for, laugh about funny memories, keep their memory alive by just talking about them. Get out of the house for a coffee or some lunch, try and socialise. This probably won't happen straight away, but when you are ready, talking about them fills that empty space and helps you to move forward. And finally, number 10, when you are ready, channel that grief into healthy and positive things, so creative pursuits, hobbies, dance or exercise classes, a vacation, anything like that. Acceptance is the final stage, so you will feel sad, you will miss them, but understand that things are now different and that it takes some adjustment. Be kind to yourself. They wouldn't want you to be stuck in depression for too long. It is time now to move forward, live to the fullest and make them proud. And to the more spiritual amongst you, I believe that they have merely transitioned and changed form, but they are still with us.
Here I am, blubbering again. One of my singing students sent me this today. If there ever comes a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart, I'll stay there forever. She's got the likeness really well, actually. And she also bought me a little bag of friendship. It's just got like little charms in it that mean different things. I can't find the label. But it was like, you know, an angel for protection and a key for, you know, opening new doors and a horseshoe for good luck, that type of thing. So, I'm really snotty now, and it's hard to be attractive when you're snotty. Thank you, Lily. That was so thoughtful. I won't read the message inside, it's quite personal, but I just love it so much. I love this picture. Me with my ginger hair and Chubz. It does look like him, and he did have a little red coat like that. So I'm probably going to frame this and put it on my picture wall. Yeah. That's beautiful.
And I'm genuinely just blown away by how amazing and kind and supportive people have been. I think going through the grief of losing Chubz has kind of triggered the grief of losing my mother as well, you know. I know that was nearly 5 years ago now, but it can take years to fully get over grief, and even then you never really stop missing them. So, and because Chubz was kind of like an adopted grandson to my mum, I think that's why in the eulogy I said, you know, we call them Nanny or Nan here in Wales, but Nanny will take care of you now. So I can just imagine them both up there and like playing, and she's taking care of him, and that's lovely for me to think of. I had this stunning photo frame with memories in the middle and lots of pictures of like Chubz and me and Chubz together, and my amazing spiritual friend Judith invited me over on Saturday, and she made me a cup of tea and some carrot cake, and she gave me these amazing Divine Doors Oracle deck, and I love doors. Wherever I go I always take pictures of like archways or doors. I've got a bit of a thing for them, so that's why she got them for me. And I've been getting a lot of symbolism with like keys and doorways and new opportunities, so that's awesome. And then her incredible spiritual artist friend gave me this, which is absolutely beautiful. Look at the portal in the forest and the woman in a cloak with the horse. And of course this is the year of the fire horse now, and it's all about, you know, freedom and movement forward. And the woman in the cloak is me in my new film Grail. I play a character called Galena, and she does wear a long cloak. So Judith is convinced Angela painted that for me, but I can't wait to frame it and put it up on my picture wall. It's absolutely stunning. That's an artist called Angela, and I will find her link to her Instagram page and put it below so you can take a look at her beautiful, stunning artwork. There's also this picture. Let me just show you. Hope you can see that. Where she painted this on canvas, and I loved it because it looks like me and Chubz walking towards the light. And we've got a raven here because I've got a thing about ravens and crows. I love them. I find her work so ethereal and otherworldly. So if you're into that, definitely check out her page on Instagram. I don't know, should I take a card? Do you want me to take a card? I know it's not that kind of channel, but I could, couldn't I? Let's pull one for you watching this today. What kind of door? Look at all these different types of doors. What kind of door do you need today? Oh, that was the box shutting. Right, let's give it a good shuffle. Oh, one just flew out. It's a yes. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and to fly. Look at that. She's like dancing and leaping by there. So if that's the confirmation you needed today for something, it's a yes. Go for it. Live your life to the fullest and make them proud. They're right by your side every step of the way. You know, I believe that there's an afterlife. They've just transitioned, that's all. Energy can't be created, it can't be destroyed, it just changes form. So no, they're not on this plane of existence anymore. They're not in this dimension. Their frequency has changed, which is why we can't always feel or sense them, and we certainly find it very difficult to see them and hear them in comparison to when they were in their physical form here. So if we were on the same frequency as them, then we would be able to communicate and see them and feel them and exactly the same. But they've just changed form and moved into a different plane of existence, and that's it. But they absolutely can visit any time, and you can talk to them whenever you like, and they will be there and you will feel their presence. I've already had 3 signs from Chubz in the first week of him going, and I wasn't looking for these signs because I wasn't really expecting them that early on. So the first sign was more electrical digital on my iPhone. Now my iPhone has never done this before, and I've had it for like 2 years. It's due an upgrade now, so I've had it for quite some time, and I've written so many notes in the notes section, and not once has it ever done this before. After Chubz passed, Siri on my iPhone kept popping up a notification on my main screen with the name Chubz. So a couple of my notes were entitled Chubz in my notes section. So it kept popping it up on my screen. Chubz. It's never done that with any of my other notes or any of the other titles. Just Chubz's name. Chubz. So I thought, oh, that's a bit strange, but I'll just put it down to like the iPhone being weird and me needing an upgrade. And then maybe a day or 2 later, I was just about to go to bed. There was no reasonable explanation for this, and I do like to debunk things too. I do like to be rational. I don't think everything is paranormal. But I was just about to go to bed. I had a small LED lamp on the side of my bed. It's quite dim. My room was quite dark, and I looked over at my dresser with Chubz's Rainbow Bridge framed picture on top of it. And I went to say goodnight to him, and as plain as day, an orb of light, maybe about that big, an orb of light floated past his picture and then disappeared. And it was unmistakably a light. It wasn't something that was like maybe a fly or a moth that caught the light and could be mistaken for an orb. It was a light. It looked like a little firefly. We don't have fireflies here in Wales, but I lay awake in the dark looking for it just in case, and it completely vanished and I never saw it again. But I looked over, and in that moment I saw an orb of light float past his picture and disappear. So that was sign number 2. And then the third sign was the next morning. I had already awoken because I remember thinking to myself, oh, it's like 6:30 already. And I was kind of lying there and I could hear Chubz yelping. I could hear him yelping, plain as day. And it wasn't like a scary yelp or anything. It was like one of his bossy yelps that he used to give me when he was waiting for his lamb chops to cook and they were taking too long, you know? And this went on for maybe about 20 seconds, but it was definitely him yelping at me. So I know for a fact that I have had signs from Chubz to let me know that he has crossed over and he's happy and he's around me, and that brings me so much comfort. It's helping me to get to a stage now where I can move on with my life, guilt-free, knowing that he's by my side anyway and he gets to come with me everywhere. He's free of, you know, bodily pain and ailment. He's no longer in an old body. He's free and he's happy, and that makes me happy. So this is the part now where things can get more fun and can get exciting. I can enjoy the summer, I can get my van sorted, and you know, get out there and get on set to do my filming, and then go out to some campsites and yeah, just enjoy life again. I miss that. I miss waking up and feeling excited for the day.
So that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time for another episode of The Rainbow Road.